Their drama here at Westminster, two cabinet resignations over Brexit, David Davis and Boris Johnson. Let's get some reaction from MPs. With me are Conservative John Penrose and Catherine West for Labour. Welcome to you both. Is the government falling apart?
No, apparently not.
We say apparently not.
You're asking the question, but the PM is in Parliament and is actually handling an awful lot of questions with a great deal of aplomb. That's going as well as you could possibly expect. And she's filled one position. She was asked in the statement just now, who's going to be the next Foreign Secretary? She had to say, well, look, I've been here for the last hour and a half. I hadn't been a chance to appoint one, but she's going to get around to it.
Yeah, what's your personal feeling? I mean, are you supporting her? Are you supporting the Chequers statement?
I have a few concerns about the Chequers statement, but I'm absolutely certain that changing horses at this point with 8 months to go before Brexit would be a huge mistake. We may argue about the policy, but we shouldn't let it get into personalities and people.
Is this the moment where Labour could actually bring the government down?
Well, I think it's meltdown in there. That's how it feels. Who is going to meet Mr. Trump when he comes on Friday? Because Boris was going to be the only person, for example, who wanted to meet him. So, we've got a lot of questions there. And, the Foreign Secretary is one of the key four posts. And him and David Davis going so quickly. I thought it was particularly cruel to go within a couple of hours of Mrs May standing up in Parliament too. Like, they've really shafted her, and that feels particularly cruel given that they had promised that they were going to go out and sell the message on Chequers. And so it does feel as though there's meltdown today, and with just 1 hour to go before the big 1922 committee where they'll be counting how many MPs will be wanting to get out the knives for Mrs May. It's quite a day.
Are you critical of Mr Davis, Mr Johnson, what they've done?
No, look, people have to stay in a government or leave a government as a point of principle. So I think it's always a mistake to criticise politicians for being lacking in principle and then to criticise them when they exercise some and resign on a point of principle. So no, absolutely not.
Shouldn't they have left on Friday rather than giving the impression that the Cabinet was united?
For a decision of this importance, I think you're allowed to take a couple of days over a weekend to think it through and make sure you're doing it properly. But I guess the point is this. Rather than trying to talk about the personalities and the sort of Westminster bubble stories, the question here is whether or not we're going to get the right deal for the country. It's going to last us for decades. We need to focus on the policies rather than on the personalities, I think.
Yes, and it would be helpful if Labour was a bit clearer what it wanted.
Well, I think the important thing is who's doing the negotiation with the European Union, because they're wanting to hear from us what is the plan, and yet there's no clarity on the plan because the Cabinet itself cannot agree on the plan. And so it's all very well for the opposition to have views, and I have my own, but I think it's just we are in a complete mess, and it feels like meltdown here
when you say we, you mean Labour?
No, the Commons, the Parliament does feel...
Parliament generally, you think?
Well, I think the fact is, next week we have the vote on the customs union with the trade bill, and obviously Mrs May was preparing that element of the Chequers statement because she knew that there was a lot of support for the customs union, and now it feels as though perhaps that's not the case because we've got Mr Johnson and Mr Davies just walking out. And
Would you vote for customs union?
I am in favour of staying in the customs union, but I'm also in favour of staying in the single market as well, because I just feel for jobs in the economy, it's very, very tricky.
Do you think the government could be defeated on either of those?
I hope not. I mean, I think this is really important because if we stay in, for example, the customs union, then we don't get our own independent trade policy. We can't strike the kind of trade deals we want to do with the rest of the world. So it's really important. I don't think people will forgive us for not really leaving if we don't get out of the customs union.
OK, thank you both very much indeed. Well, I can see Hugo Dixon of In Fact.